So your presentation is visible, sir.
Good.
Just running through the slides, seeing whether all are compatible.
Yeah.
All right, looks good.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll unshare now.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Vinod, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, JK, yes. I can hear you.
One second. One second.
ఇది ఇప్పుడు రిపోర్ట్ అవ్వదా లేదా?
JK, there's no audio. Video is playing.
Audio. Hello. Vinod, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, JK.
Okay, fine. Hello. Vinod, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, JK. Yes.
Voice clear, ka?
Your voice clear. Yes.
Okay, fine. Can you check now and confirm
Sure.
video audio is working or not?
Sure. Yes.
ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ పేరు మినిస్ట్రీ ఆఫ్
JK, video is coming, but audio is not coming.
இப்போ இன்னோவேஷன் சம்மிட்லாம் அப்படிதான் ரன் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். வந்துட்டு இருக்கு ஆடியோ. ஹலோ.
My voice is loud. I have to be louder or no?
So the first time that you spoke, no, that was nice. That tone was nice.
First time means full speech
Half
or
you went a little down.
is it? That's why I asked you.
Yes.
Okay.
See, after some time, you just, I thought maybe you're
Tiring
tiring,
out.
you know. That's why you reduced your
Yeah.
voice. The first half was nice and loud. Second half, you went a little low.
Sir, you are on mute.
How are you, Suresh? How are you? நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா? Hi, Hari.
Hello everyone. Morning, Hari.
தெரியல. செக் பண்ணும்போது அவங்க சரியா இருக்குன்னாங்க. இன்னும் தெரியலங்க. No, they heard it. I checked with CI guys before. Leave it.
சுரேஷ் எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
Chairman, we may start the session.
So, has Minister come? I think somebody is using
Sir,
two devices.
sir, anyone can use two devices. Can you switch off one device, please?
Somebody is. I think somebody is logged in through two devices.
Chairman, you have joined in two devices. You can mute one.
Not on two devices.
நம்ம சேர்த்த வருதுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
This is C. Vijay Kumar. Can you hear me?
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. We are able to hear you. How are you, sir?
Okay. Good morning. You can hear and clear me, I guess, right?
Yes, sir. Very clear, sir.
Okay.
Chairman, you may start now.
இது என்ன கேம் படிக்குது தம்பி? ஓ அவங்க மியூட் பண்ணு.
Yes, request if everybody can Yeah, good morning everyone. I hope I'm audible. So welcome everybody to Connect 2020. On behalf of CII Tamil Nadu, I have great pleasure to welcome you all to the 19th edition of Connect 2020, the flagship event of CII on information and communication technology. I'm delighted to welcome our chief guest for today, Mr. R.B. Uday Kumar, Honorable Minister for Revenue and Disaster Management and Information Technology. Sir, we are truly honored by your presence at the CII Connect 2020. We look forward to your perspectives on the various policy measures taken by the Government of Tamil Nadu to encourage and propel the growth in the information and technology and electronic sector in India. I also have great pleasure in inviting in our midst
Please note,
Mr.
the meeting
Hansraj
is being
Ratna,
recorded.
IAS Additional Chief Secretary, Department of Information Technology. Sir, your leadership, support and guidance have made this year's Connect a truly memorable and an international event, connecting various leaders across the globe in the field of IT. I would also like to extend my warm greetings to Dr. Omkar Rai, Director General, STPI. Sir, STPI has been a constant supporter for Connect programs across the state. Thank you for your presence. We have a very special guest today, Mr. C. Vijay Kumar, CEO, HCL Technologies, and Mr. Jean Francois Beryl, Executive Chairman, HMD Global. Thank you, Mr. Vijay Kumar and Mr. Beryl, for accepting our invitation to deliver the keynote address. I welcome and thank Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, Deputy Chairman, CIA Southern Region, for the inaugural session of Connect. My warm greetings to Mr. Suresh Raman, Chairman of CIA Connect 2020, and my warm welcome to Mr. Josh Folger, Co-Chairman of CIA Connect 2020. Both of you have provided able leadership of the steering committee in putting together a truly world-class program. To begin with, I would like to compliment the Government of Tamil Nadu for taking proactive measures in controlling the pandemic across the state. We in CIA also sincerely appreciate the efforts of all the government officials and health workers who are contributing their best to overcome this unprecedented situation. In our fight against COVID, information technology is playing a very important role in communication, preparing, presenting, and disseminating data on COVID to all important stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, the current pandemic crisis has created both challenges and opportunities for the Indian IT industry. We believe the sector is all set to leverage the new opportunities by conquering the challenges through new sources of revenue as digital technologies gain more impetus. Offering flexible contractual terms, focusing on emerging technologies on skilling. New age technologies such as artificial intelligence, Internet of Things are going to play a very major and critical role for the manufacturing sector in India. It is going to be a major game changer in the years to come. Due to COVID, the situation is somewhat different, with a lot of opportunities opening up in the IT industry, such as the growing need for the 5G technology. Telehealth is one of the developing industries in this crisis. This could help people to get diagnosed, treated, and operated without the need of a physician to be physically present. A lot of apps have been built in the past few months to help achieve this. There are many patients who are in self-quarantine who need medical supervision and medical assistance every day, and these applications could help them achieve that. Turning to Tamil Nadu, the state has emerged as a key destination for IT investments. The state has an approved 22 IT parks at this point in time. In the year 2018-19, the IT and ITES sector exports were at rupees 1,22,899 crores and created jobs to around 6,50,000 people during that year, making Tamil Nadu one of the leading players in creating jobs in the IT segment. Recently, the Government of Tamil Nadu has signed MOUs which included companies from the IT and ITES sector. The recently announced Tamil Nadu Electronics Hardware Policy on 7 September 2020 has unveiled various path-breaking policy measures with a vision to transform Tamil Nadu into an innovative and globally competitive electronic system design and manufacturing destination. CA Tamil Nadu is closely working with the government to promote the growth and development of the IT and ITES sector in Tamil Nadu, especially in Tier 2 cities and towns such as Coimbatore, Madurai, Trichy, Salem, and Tirunelveli. It is for this reason the Connect series this year have been held across all these towns to bring in new investments and also to highlight the strength and capabilities of the Tier 2 towns in the state. I would like to acknowledge all the support of ELCOT for partnering with CII in organizing the Connect series across the state. I'm happy to inform that the Connect 2020 over these 4 days offers a wide range of topics for discussion and deliberation with focus on using technology as an enabler to bring growth back. The valedictory session of Connect 2020 will be facilitated by our Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy, on the 19th of September. With these few words, ladies and gentlemen, I would once again welcome you all to the 19th edition of Connect 2020. I would now request our Honorable Minister for IT and Disaster Management, Thiru R.B. Udayakumar, to address us. Please, sir.
And Information Technology, Government of Tamil Nadu. He has a master degree in social work and a Bachelor of Law. He is also an advocate. Previously, he was elected from Satur constituency, Virudhunagar district, and he was the Minister for Information Technology previously and Minister for Sports, Youth Welfare Department, and he was also Minister for Revenue Disaster Management Department in his previous tenure. Currently, he is elected from Tirumbangalam constituency, Madurai district, and he is presently the Minister for Revenue, Disaster Management and Information Technology. Our minister, during his tenure, has modernized the Department of Survey and Settlement, Tamil Nadu, by introducing the online Patta transfer and digitization of the Survey and Land Records Department, for which he was awarded by the government. I'm happy to request Honorable Minister for IT, Government of Tamil Nadu to deliver his inaugural address. Thank you.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். Confederation of Indian Industries Connect 2020. With the blessings of Honorable Idaidivam Prasthalavi Amma, this is a golden opportunity to given by Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. இன்றைக்கு பேரறிஞர் பெருந்தகை அண்ணா அவருடைய பிறந்தநாள் விழா. இந்த நாளிலே சிஐ கனெக்ட் 2020 இது ஒரு அற்புதமான ஒரு வாய்ப்பு. திரு ஹன்ஸ்ராஜ் வர்மா, அடிஷனல் சீஃப் செக்ரட்டரி ஐடி டிபார்ட்மெண்ட், எம்டி எல்காட், கமிஷனர் ஆஃப் இ கவர்னன்ஸ், டைரக்டர் ஆஃப் STPI, திரு ஹரி தியாகராஜன், சேர்மன் ஆஃப் சிஐ, மதுரையினுடைய மண்ணின் மைந்தன், மதுரையினுடைய வளர்ச்சிக்காக 3 தலைமுறைகளாக பங்களிப்பு ஆற்றி வருகிற, சேவை ஆற்றி வருகிற அந்த பாரம்பரிய குடும்பத்திலிருந்து வந்து இன்றைக்கு பெருமைமிகு சிஐ வழி நடத்துகிற அந்த வாய்ப்பினை அற்புதமாக வழிநடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கின்ற ஹரி தியாகராஜன் அவர்களுக்கு மீண்டும் ஒரு முறை சேர்மன் அவர்களுக்கு நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொண்டு, டாக்டர் எஸ் சந்திரகுமார், friends from media, guests and ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to extend my wishes to all of you today at the 19th edition of CI Concept 2020. Over the last 18 years, Connect has become an important platform for policymakers, investors, successful entrepreneurs, and learners in the field of information and communication technology. My compliments to CI Tamil Nadu for its continuous efforts in promoting the state of Tamil Nadu as an information technology destination in India. I look forward to strengthen our partnership further to develop the information technology sector across the state, particularly the Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. As you are all aware, Tamil Nadu is one of the leading players in global information technology and information technology enabled services. The state has been upgrading its IT infrastructure in a dynamic manner so as to facilitate speedy access to information and the delivery of various services of the Government of Tamil Nadu to the citizens in faster and efficient manner. The Government of Tamil Nadu is actively promoting information technology in the state with the objectives to become the ICT hub of South Asia by creating a knowledge-driven ecosystem, leveraging entrepreneurship and promoting socially inclusive growth to achieve a 25% production share of the Indian ICT industry. When it comes to IT and IT's investment, Tamil Nadu has always been considered as most preferred destination. Tamil Nadu, with the able assistance from ELCOT, was successful in bringing investments of 11.974 crore in the IT/ITES sector during the second Global Investors Meet held in January 2019. IT/ITES exports increased by nearly 12% to 1.39 lakh crore in 2019-20, as against 1.23 lakh crore in the previous year. Employment by the sector increased again by nearly 12% to 7.4% lakhs in 2019-20. The LCOSs established by ELCOT in Chennai and Tier 2 city locations has contributed rupees 21,700 crore of exports in IT sectors and has created an employment of 94,000. Though COVID-19 has impacted severely the growth of IT sector as well, it also provided a wide range of opportunities for the sector to grow in the areas such as healthcare and education and all the areas. I would like to highlight some of the key initiatives of Tamil Nadu government in the area of information technology supported by Additional Chief Secretary, our Hansraj Verma. The rural broadband project BharatNet is being implemented in the state with an investment of rupees 1,815 crore, through which 12,524 villages will be connected through optical fiber network and will be provided with a not less than 1 Gbps high-speed network connectivity in each villages. Besides, the state government is investing around rupees 500 crore to set up high-speed internet facility across cities in the state through Tamil Nadu scheme. The government has launched technologies developed in-house by Tamil Nadu e-governance agencies like technology based on artificial intelligence for pest identification in crops and integrated into agriculture departments app for farmers. Artificial intelligence based face recognition system currently used in 2 government schools for attendance, a YouTube channel for guidance people to apply for various services like income, nativity, community certificates through online, and a Tamil chatbot named Anil using technologies developed in collaboration with the Anna University to guide and advise people by answering their queries. On 7th September this year, the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Thru Edappadi Palanichami, released the Tamil Nadu Electronics Hardware Manufacturing Policy. You know very well, the new policy is expected to increase the state electronics industry's output to $100 billion by 2025. Here are the key highlights of the policy. You know very well, even though I have to mention here, the policy will undertake skill training for more than 1 lakh people by 2024 to meet the incremental human resources requirement projected by the National Skill Development Corporation for the state in electronics and the hardware sector. Alienated with the national policy, the Electronics 2019, the state government will provide special support for developing core competence in the subsectors. All incentives offered by the state government to units in the electronics manufacturing industry shall be in addition to the incentives offered by the Government of India to those units. Investments made from 1st January will be considered eligible for availing incentives. The government will formulate a special package for incentives for ESDM units in the MSME sector for core investments. The policy has identified the districts in 3 categories based on this. It is industrial backwardness. For investments worth rupees 200-500 crore capital subsidy in category A districts would be 15%, in category B districts 20%, and in C category districts 25% for investments over rupees 500 crore. For mega industries, capital subsidies in A districts would be 18%, B districts 25%, and C districts 30%. The state will also support startups in the electronics and hardware space by promoting the development and acquisitions of IPs in ESDM sector, will support well-functioning Atal tinkering labs for the procurement of new electronic equipments, and ELCOT will establish a cloud server to connect all the incubation centers across the state and make it available to all the startups at a low or nominal cost. CI members and executives, you know very well, the electronic policies is welcomed by all over the country. I request the industry to take advantage of the investors' friendly policies of the government, both central and state, and establish a new IT industries in emerging technologies like blockchain, artificial intelligence, IoT, and electronics manufacturing, therefore increase employment opportunities in the state. In conclusion, I would like to state here that the mission statement of the Department of Information and Technology, Government of Tamil Nadu says, elevating Tamil Nadu as the destinations of choice for IT investors across the world and being the preferred choice for procurement of IT products and services. This is a goal. Our Additional Chief Secretary Hansraj Verma and MD ELCOT and other officials, they are working hard for achieve that goal. Let us collectively strive hard to achieve it. With these few words, I wish the deliberations of 19th editions of Connect 2020 a big success. The government of Tamil Nadu is eagerly looking forward to work with the Confederation of Indian Industry to bring the growth back to the Tamil Nadu. நன்றி சொல்வதற்கு முன்பாக இந்த நிறைவு விழாவிலே மாண்புமிகு தமிழ்நாடுடைய முதலமைச்சர் அவர்கள் பங்கேற்று தன்னுடைய வாழ்த்துக்களை தெரிவித்து இந்த தகவல் தொழில்நுட்பத்தினுடைய வளர்ச்சிக்காக பல்வேறு அவர்கள் சலுகைகள் அளிக்க இருக்கிறார்கள். குறிப்பாக டெக் ஃபோரம் நம்முடைய உடனடியாக நம்முடைய ஹரி தியாகராஜன் அவர்களும் நம்முடைய சிஐ அவர்களும் வைத்த கோரிக்கை, நம்முடைய செக்ரட்டரி கூடுதல் தலைமைச் செயலாளர் அவர்களும் எம்டி எல்காட் அவர்களும் அதற்கென்று தனி முக்கியத்துவம் கொடுத்து முதல் முறையாக மற்ற மாநிலங்களுக்கு முன்மாதிரியாக இந்த டெக் ஃபோரம் அமைக்கப்படுகிறது. எதிர்காலத்தில் இது விரிவுபடுத்தி எடுத்து செல்வதற்கும் அது நமக்கு மிகப்பெரிய களமாக ஒரு பிளாட்ஃபார்மாக அமைந்திருக்கும் என்பதை சொல்லி இந்த நல்ல முயற்சியிலே சட்டசபை நடந்து கொண்டிருக்கிற போதும் என்னை பங்களிப்பதற்கு அனுமதி அளித்திருக்கிற மாண்பு முதலமைச்சர் அவர்களுக்கும் மாண்புமிகு துணை முதலமைச்சர் அவர்களுக்கும் இதை சிறப்பாக எங்களுடைய கூடுதல் தலைமைச் செயலாளர் அவர்களுக்கும் இதை ஒருங்கிணைக்கின்ற நம்முடைய ஹரி தியாகராஜன் மற்றும் அவருடைய உயர் அலுவலருக்கும் நன்றி கூறி வாழ்த்தி விடைபெறுகிறேன். நிறைவு விழாவிலே உங்களை சந்திக்கிறேன் என்று சொல்லி விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
அமைச்சர் அவர்களுக்கு எங்களது மனமார்ந்த நன்றிகளை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றோம். We thank you once again, sir, on behalf of CAA Tamil Nadu for your valuable presence here amidst your busy schedule. And we understand that the assembly is in session, but you have made special time for us. And from CAA Tamil Nadu, we once again thank you for all the support extended to us in form of the Tech Forum. So once again, thank you, sir. Now I would like to request Mr. Suresh Raman, the convener of Connect 2020, to address on the theme of this year's Connect, please.
Yeah. Good morning to all of you. I'm glad in this Connect 2020 we have speakers and delegates across the globe, respected dignitaries on the virtual dais, Thiru R.B. Udaykumar, Honorable Minister for Revenue and Disaster Management and Information Technology, Government of Tamil Nadu, Thiru Ansraj Verma, Additional Chief Secretary, Information Technology, Government of Tamil Nadu, Dr. Omkar Roy, Director General, STPI, Mr. Jean-Francois Baril, Executive Chairman, HMD Global, Sri Vijay Kumar, President and CEO, HCL Technologies, Thiru C.K. Ranganathan, Deputy Chairman, CI Southern Region, Thiru Hari Tyagarajan, Chairman, CI Tamil Nadu, Dr. S. Chandrakumar, Vice Chairman, CI Tamil Nadu, distinguished speakers, delegates at the Connect 2020, officials and members from the industry and academia, friends from the media. As the chairman of the steering committee for Connect 2020, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you all for the 19th edition of Connect. As India celebrates today, the 15th of September, as Engineers Day, as a tribute to India's greatest engineers, Bharat Ratna awardee, Mr. Visvesvaraya, we kickstart our coming together in celebration of India's prowess and might in information and communication technology, as well as the strides that we are taking in electronics hardware manufacturing. I am pleased to set the context this day at Connect 2020, a truly international conference and exposition this time. In its 19th edition, Connect reflects the success of our collective efforts. Over time, I must say, Connect initiative has transformed as a key forum for Indian ICT industry and also now the electronics manufacturing industry to confer on the latest trends and developments. The event has been successful in implementing several path-breaking initiatives in the state. To mention a few, the formation of tech corridors, the ICT Academy, specialized technology parks, new developments in the Aero Park, MRO Hub, and IT Consortium for Skill Development can be attributed as a direct outcome of Connect. We are grateful to the host, Government of Tamil Nadu, and co-host STPI, who have provided tremendous support and encouragement over the last couple of decades. Our vision for Connect 2020 this year has been to aspire and inspire. Over the past 2 decades, Tamil Nadu has witnessed some serious transformation. We as the industry have never shied away from change. Tamil Nadu's leadership in IT, ITES, and electronics manufacturing industries is evident from the exports of about $22 billion, directly employing more than 7 lakhs and probably 40 lakhs of indirect employment. Inspiringly, these sectors are extremely gender biased. gender balance. Sorry. This pandemic has been a giant reset button, forcing us to pause, break, and restart in unprecedented ways. Spread over 5 days, we had the opportunity to deliberate more across a gamut of topics. It is a basket bonanza for the audience. As a nation building measure, our Prime Minister has set up the target of Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India. In line with this objective, we have a host of conversations with leading manufacturers and industrialists, eminent academicians, scientists and inventors, and senior government officials. This would set our pace and agenda for the next years to come, empowering the younger generation and giving them the impetus to raise the momentum. Knowledge continues to be the intangible asset and technology the powerful lever that could tip the world of opportunities and growth in our favor. I would like to thank the steering committee represented by top government officials, including Thiru Ansraj Verma, Dr. Sanjay Tyagi, Thiru Vijay Kumar Elcott MD, Dr. Neeraj Mittal, Dr. Anish Shekhar, past chairman of Connect and founder Mr. Mahalingam, Mr. Ramraj, and my co-chair Josh Folger, and technology stalwarts and CXOs across industries, and Mr. Dilip Chari from KPMG, all of whom have worked tirelessly over the last 4 months to stitch together this event and put forth the right agenda for Tamil Nadu state and steer us towards the growth path. The sessions stitched over with 100 plus speakers driven by illustrious thought leaders will deliberate on the core issues and opportunities in key areas. You may have seen the agenda for the 5-day event. The rationale behind the various sessions was deliberated and arrived at by the steering committee. I will try to summarize the deliberations and consensus among the steering committee. Technology has become the bedrock during this pandemic, has helped those companies that had executed digital transformation not just to survive but to grow. Seeing this, other enterprises have rushed to undertake new digital transformation programs, as evident in the opportunities that are getting opened up for the IT services industry. Hence, it is very apt that we have named the theme Technology as an Enabler for Getting Growth Back. Too many forces are influencing the way we do business, be it the geopolitical realignments leading to focus on self-reliance, or the cutting-edge technologies that are reshaping customer experience, or the policies defining the new normal, example, the work from home policies, or the importance of health, safety, and environment, or the cybersecurity, privacy, IPs, and its trade-offs. Rapidly evolving technologies demand new skills and large-scale investments. Should we have a concept of skill tech varsity? What does it entail? How we can implement for Tamil Nadu and India? The increasing focus for technology in consuming industries for citizen or customer experience, be it in different industries, health, manufacturing, automotive, aerospace, defense, agriculture, media and entertainment, which are driving new demand for IT services, and also the government for citizen services. The urgent need for MSMEs to leverage digital right from operations to marketing and going beyond geographical boundaries is important. The need to encourage entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs with appropriate policies is required. The recently launched electronics hardware manufacturing policy by the Tamil Nadu government augurs well for the state. There is an important aspect to core ICT high tech, such as semiconductors manufacturing. It has not been a focus for in India, considering the large scale upfront investments around setting up precision engineering, along with associated machinery and tooling and requirements of design expertise. With our success in space research and commercialization, sky is no longer the limit. Let us all design to excel in core ICT high tech. Opportunities have opened up for India and our state of Tamil Nadu, with realignments of countries leading to a demand for new supply chains. We have the launch pads now, and let us leapfrog into growth. We are fortunate to have the support of a great cadre of sponsors and country partners in UK, Denmark, and Netherlands this time, represented by the British Deputy High Commissioner and the Council Generals of Denmark and Netherlands. I'm also pleased to mention that apart from the virtual conference comprising technology-rich and thought-provoking sessions, we also have B2B meetings, lounges for conversations, and the event will culminate with CII Connect Awards. Connect 2020 will also host a month-long exposition with over 100 exhibitors. Information and communication technology and electronics manufacturing will emerge as the essential factor that powers us through growth path as well as blueprinting an inclusive future that is safe and sustainable. I would like to conclude my context setting address, and I once again welcome you all to the 19th edition of Connect. Let us all script our collective future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Suresh Raman, Chairman of the Steering Committee for Connect 2020. As you mentioned, I think the Steering Committee has put in a lot of effort and time in curating this 4-day conference on a virtual platform. Though we had our initial challenges, I think today the participation numbers are quite overwhelming. Thanks to technology, people are able to connect and dial in at any time during their convenience. And I'm sure that the outcomes of this Connect 2020 will also be very, very special, especially during these times of this pandemic, when technology can be the best leveler and enabler to bring growth back. So thank you for setting the context. Now I would call upon Mr. Hansraj Verma, IAS Additional Chief Secretary, IT, Government of Tamil Nadu, to give his special address, please. Over to you, sir. Sir, I think you're on mute. Can you please unmute, please? So please, yes, sir.
I think, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, a small request from the government, sir. Since the assembly session is going on, our Additional Chief Secretary, Hansraj Verma, sir, has been requested to go to the assembly. Okay, so what he said was, let others speak. He will definitely come and join. So Chairman can take over. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Now I would request Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, Deputy Chairman, CIA Southern Region, to address us, please. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Hari, Chairman Tamil Nadu CAI, Honorable Minister Shri R.B. Uday Kumar, Additional Chief Secretary to Government Information Technology, Government of Tamil Nadu, Shri Hansraj Verma, Dr. Omkar Rai, Director General, STPI, distinguished guests, speakers who are going to speak after me and before, colleagues from the industry, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, all of you. I have great pleasure in participating at Connect 2020, the flagship initiative of CII in the information and communication technology sector. Over the last 19 years, CII Connect has resulted in various path-breaking initiatives, which I think Mr. Suresh Raman has spoke about that. I don't want to repeat those things. Connect over the years has positioned Tamil Nadu as a leader in attracting investment in IT and electronic sectors. Tamil Nadu, along with other southern states, contributes substantially to IT exports and providing huge employment opportunities for youth in this region. CA Southern Region has been working closely with the southern state governments in bringing policies that are conducive in attracting investment into the region. Southern states have also emerged as leaders in various sectors of the economy, be it manufacturing, ITES, biotechnology, life sciences, electronics manufacturing, defense and aerospace, to just name a few. On the ease of doing business index as well, southern states continue to maintain their leadership and remain on top for many years. And Tamil Nadu also has come a long, long way. COVID has brought us a lot of new opportunities despite severe hit on economy. For example, telemedicine has played a significant role in diagnosing the patients who could not come out during this pandemic. Digital health platforms have been witnessing the surge since the beginning of March, and tele-consultations have been growing at an average of over 100% week on week. Here, the information and communication technology played and will continue to play a very vital role. Tamil Nadu is in a turning point in a changing competitive environment. The state of Tamil Nadu has been taking various initiatives to attract new investment. I'm happy to know that even during the COVID pandemic, Tamil Nadu has been able to attract a sizable investment in some of the niche sectors and generate employment. IT, ITS is one of them. I'm glad to note that CII Tamil Nadu has joined hands with the government in its economic development agenda and working closely with the government and contributing effectively. Congrats, Hari. As we all are aware, the Tamil Nadu is an innovation-based economy with a strong presence in manufacturing and services. All we need to know is that we need to accelerate this momentum of innovation. Being one of India's metros, Chennai is the primary startup hub in Tamil Nadu and is the focal point for startups in other cities when it comes to access to a good talent pool. Chennai has also become a hub for software as a service. Startups with success stories like Zoho, Freshworks, Arnescape, and many others are all a pride of Tamil Nadu. I'm very happy that the Honorable Minister has very clearly announced that Tech Forum is going to be floated in request with CA's request in the past. That will really do a lot of good things for the IT and ITE sector. One thing I thought we need to go a long way for any economy to spur, and particularly IT and ITS, where ideas and innovations are flowing like water. I think they need to be channelized, they need to be funded. One of the best way to fund is the angel investors. That is one way. I think we have the Chennai Angels here, and we require many more such kind of forums. So access for funds is easily available to the budding entrepreneurs, the startups. I was at Silicon Valley a couple of years ago, and I've also gone and met the Silicon Valley Bank. That's very interesting to note that how they have been spurring the economy. The bank, contrary to other kind of banks in India, that bank only works with technology startups, and they only take equity. There is no security, nothing. If the ideas are great, they take 20%, 25%, depends on the kind of fund is asked for, and starting the first seed money kind of thing. I think that's very, very, very good. And also, I thought one other way the Tech Forum can do, or any other methods, if a Tech Forum can address, I would be very happy, is connecting the mentors and advisors to the startups. I think that is very, very important. And allowing them to search on their own terms, they may not be able to access. I think somewhere the forum, the IT and the things, members, senior business leaders need to play a very, very vital role in this sector to link up mentors and advisors. That will go a long way. I would also request at this juncture if Tamil Nadu government can facilitate a bank like that kind of Silicon Valley Bank, I think that would go a long way. So all I would say is that make the funds easily available, but very, very clearly, great ideas only can see the light of that. I think industry can play a very vital role in filtering the ideas and which are the ideas to be funded. I think industry captains are some of the key resources can come together and make it happen. I'm confident that this event like Connect would be able to generate more and more innovation and successful startups in Tamil Nadu. With these few words, I once again wish the 19th edition of Connect 2020 a grand success. I'd like to place on record my sincere appreciation and gratitude to Mr. Mahalingam, the founding chairman of Connect and past chairman of CII Southern Region, for his passionate leadership for nearly 2 decades towards this initiative of CII. My congratulations to CII Tamil Nadu for putting together this wonderful conference, especially Ms. Suresh Raman, Chairman CII Connect 2020, and Mr. Josh, Co-Chairman CII Connect 2020 for their wonderful leadership. I also would like to thank the Government of Tamil Nadu and STPI for partnering with CII in this important initiative. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for your presence and for your valuable words, sir. I think the best takeaway is that Chennai has always been a land of entrepreneurship, and of late companies such as Zoho have been examples of Chennai-based people building world-class billion-dollar companies, and we will definitely work alongside the government and organizations such as TIE and other venture capital forums to really, I think today tying up the apt investors with the ready entrepreneurs is something that we really need to be doing. And definitely we are working on the IPR front also with the Tech Forum and the Tamil Nadu Technology Development Center as well. So we will take your words of advice. And innovation-based economy, as you mentioned, I think that is the way forward. But having manufacturing as a bedrock, and I think Tamil Nadu really marries these both aspects together. And today, I think companies such as Foxconn have really believed in the entrepreneurial spirit of Tamil Nadu and also the capability of our young hardware and software engineers. And I think we have a very large base building and making Apple phones here at Chennai. So thank you once again, sir, for your words of appreciation and encouragement at this point in time. I would now request Mr. C. Vijay Kumar, President and CEO, HCL Technologies, to give his keynote address, please. Over to you, sir. Sir, I think you're on mute.
Thank you. I hope you're able to hear me clearly.
Yes, sir. Please.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, Mr. R. Uday Kumar, Additional Secretary, IT, Government of Tamil Nadu, Mr. Hans Raj Verma, Director General, Software Technology Parks of India, Dr. Omkar Rai, Mr. Hari Tyagarajan, Chairman, CIA Tamil Nadu, Mr. Sanjay Reddy, Chairman, CIA Connect, and other distinguished speakers and delegates joining us. A very good morning to all of you. Thank you for this opportunity to share my thoughts on how we, the technology industry and the fraternity, have the power and responsibility to reboot the global as well as the local economies through smart use of digital technologies. Over the past few months, as I watched each family, each community, each country, and each of us individually do what we thought best to overcome these extraordinary circumstances, I am reminded of a proverb I had heard a long time ago, which is when the winds of change blow, some build walls, others build windmills. For businesses, this has been nothing short of a tsunami. Parallel with the human and the healthcare crisis, we've been confronted with the collapse of several industries, large-scale workforce displacement, and unprecedented turmoil in our supply chains. I'm sure all of us want to see the end of 2020 and start a new one in an environment defined by unmatched uncertainty. The most pertinent point that we all have to introspect and act as business leaders here and around the world today is how do we scale the walls of protection built around the world and construct strong windmills to channelize these winds to our advantage. And platforms like CIA Connect are crucial in such times. The quick switch over to a virtual conference this year is a welcome move and represents microcosmically our collective resilience to keep the show going under every circumstance. It marks the coming together of all stakeholders to discuss the implication of this historic change and arrive at a collective way to align our efforts moving forward. There is no doubt that the mantle of responsibility to recharge and restart our growth engines rests on technology today. And the industry has been presented with an unprecedented challenge. But the change is here to stay. So let's look at what we are faced with. The undeniable fact is that every company in the industry in every country has been impacted by COVID-19. Yet, I believe there is merit in breaking down this analysis into the extent of impact so as to study the vulnerabilities of each of these sectors and their preparedness to navigate through this turbulence. If we were to take a deeper look on the different industries, the businesses can be classified into three categories. First, the most and more impacted sectors. These industries cover travel, tourism, hospitality, oil and gas, and numerous businesses, small, medium, and large, verticals that watched their whole market disintegrate overnight, putting a large number of jobs at risk. Businesses in these sectors are coming to terms with the possibility that demand is unlikely to return to pre-pandemic levels in the foreseeable future. Second are less impacted industries that have not seen as dramatic a fall in revenue, but saw extreme volatility, a colossal impact on operations, and a big challenge to their legacy systems. This include banking, a lot of essential services like utilities, etc. And third are the sectors which are beneficiaries, sectors which ostensibly continue to grow in the pandemic. Cases in point being food or grocery, pharmaceutical, healthcare, technology sector. But all of them took a sharp plunge before they made speedy recovery and speedy changes to their business models by ramping up their online and digital presence, remote working, all of them to weather this storm with a level of agility that's unmatched. The storm is not over by any stretch of imagination. We are just able to pop our heads above the water to take a deep breath and swim again. And what we see ahead of us is a whole new world of business. What are the key facets of these new features that we are entering into as we look into the future? First and foremost, we are in the worst global economic performance since the post World War II era. The IMF forecasts a decline of a 5% decline in the global GDP in 2020. And the pandemic is expected to drive most countries into recession, with advanced economies projected to shrink as much as 7%. As a matter of fact, all the G7 countries, with the exception of China, are looking at negative growth. In fact, more economies are expected to be in recession in 2020 than that has ever been recorded in the history. And this will be accompanied by a historic contraction of the per capita income. With this scenario, we witnessed another clear trend. Digital transformation, or digital is the refuge to safety. Yes, for customers, employees, and businesses alike, digital has been a big savior. As the world went into lockdown, we witnessed a historic deployment of digital access across every domain. A recent data by McKinsey shows that we vaulted 5 years forward in consumer and business digital adoption in a matter of 2 months. We've seen schools across the world moving to online learning and digital classrooms, grocery stores shifting to online orders and delivery as their primary business models, banks enhancing and strengthening the digital outreach to arrange flexible payments for loans, mortgages, doctors delivering telemedicine, manufacturers actively initiating plans for lights out factories and supply chain. The list goes on. Small businesses with their back against the wall stem the impact to some extent with some quick digital innovation. We even have some examples of farmers in rural India who managed to protect their livelihood by grouping together with local NGOs to initiate digital payments and enable doorstep delivery of fresh vegetables. The en masse shift to digital may have been sudden, but it is not short term. According to numerous surveys, 75% of customers using digital channel for the first time have indicated that they will continue to use even after things return to new normal, whatever it might be. All that it indicates is the digital economy is front and center in this new future. However, it is essential to note the importance of digital economy is not new. Before we deep dive into the changes that are needed ahead, let us revisit the inroads made by the digital economy in the pre-COVID world. Statistics reveal that it had already built a strong foundation, and digital economy was the biggest value driver in the economic growth of most economies. For example, in the US, the digital economy was growing at double the rate of the total GDP, and it had increased its share from just 1% of the GDP in the 80s to 6% in 2018 and is on a firm trajectory to reach about 10% of the GDP in the next few years. In absolute numbers, it was already contributing over $1 trillion to the US economy. And if extrapolated to the global economy, the digital economy would be a sizable $3.5 trillion. Digital will play the role of a lead architect in almost every sector. There is need today to create a recovery blueprint that is holistic, sustainable, and rapid. We need to think of digital enablement in 3 layers. Each of these layers are very critical for the future, and all of them offer numerous opportunities to create a long-term sustainable growth. I want to talk about these 3 layers in a little bit more detail. The first would be what I call as the digital foundation. And the digital foundation would consist of things like technology infrastructure, technology skills, and the technology platforms, or the what we call as the public infrastructure. The tech infrastructure would be the telecom backbone, internet penetration, availability of devices, and so on. Internet, while we've made huge strides over the last few years in India, it's still a glass half full with only 40% internet penetration in India. There is a huge potential to bridge this gap. Similarly, telecom backbone. In fact, we should all be very proud of what telecom companies and their ecosystem has done over the last 6 months. Their resilience and their robustness and their ability to support the rapid increase in demand placed on them has really helped a lot of businesses to really survive in the pandemic. I could not imagine something like this happening even 5 years back and how the telecom infrastructure would have stood up. We've come a very long way. However, the next phase of evolution, I think accelerating 5G adoption will be very important to deliver low latency, fiber backhauls, high speed, high bandwidth networks. All of them are going to be prerequisites for some of the new industries and businesses that can create long-term growth. Another very important aspect of the technology infrastructure is really the infrastructure for various businesses, whether it is digital workplace, work from home operating models, work from home infrastructure, resilient IT systems, uh, uh, IT systems that can scale up and scale down through maybe adoption of technologies like cloud, and keeping all the IT systems and technologies secure. All of them become very important. And all of this, telecom, internet, the tech infrastructure for the businesses, all of them form the basic layer of the technology infrastructure. The second element of digital foundation would be what I call as the technology skills, and the need to enhance technology skills have been increasing exponentially. It's believed that 60 million plus new jobs can be created through all the interventions that the technology can enable. And a good part of this will need significant amount of tech skills to be available in the workforce. A lot of work done today would get automated, and while that can eliminate at least 25 million jobs, but I believe for every job that is automated, there will be 2 jobs created by the new businesses and new business models enabled by technology, which also fuels an economic growth, creating more job opportunities. So skills are very important, not only for new people coming into the workforce with the technology skills, but it is even more important for the people in the existing workforce to acquire new skills, which will keep them relevant and continue to demonstrate an ability to unlearn old things and relearn and learn new things will become a very important aspect. And the third element of the digital foundation is the platforms, like the financial payment platform, the Aadhaar infrastructure. We made a lot of progress over the past decade, and some industries like financial services are ahead of the curve in better leveraging the digital platforms that have been created, but a lot of industries can leverage these platforms much better. So that's the key message around the digital foundation. The second layer of this whole uh, getting back to growth would be what I call as the digital business. And you can classify this digital business into four categories. Right? First is the core IT enabled services and the telecom sector, which is around $200 billion today, which is 6 to 7% of Indian GDP. It has the potential to grow to $500 billion, could be about 10% of our GDP in the next 5 to 7 years. This can happen in IT and IT enabled services, both global market as well as the domestic market, which offers tremendous potential. The services industry, the software product industry, the hardware, where we have a very small presence, there's a significant headroom for growth, and the whole digital backbone and the telecom, all of this could potentially become a $500 billion industry for us, contributing about 10% of our GDP. So that's one big growth element. The second big growth element will be all the sectors which could leverage technology to transform themselves. While a lot of traditional industries, there are many case studies on how they can transform using technology and digital transformation. There are two notable ones which are going to evolve significantly in the coming months and years, which will deliver a much more inclusive growth. One is remote healthcare. Telehealth monitoring, remote diagnostics, robotic remote surgeries, all of this have huge potential to scale up, to deliver a much more inclusive growth and allow access to good quality healthcare to a very, very broad base of our population. The second is remote education. I think the quality of education can be significantly enhanced and made much more universal and much more consistent across the country through the use of technology. Today, I think there is a big divide between people, the children who can afford education through online methods, and a lot of them who cannot. So I think technology can enable even a television channel, which will be a one-way broadcast of all the knowledge, and have some kind of mechanisms to kind of allow the students to interact and test the students through some kind of physical proximity and presence. I think a completely new educational model which can scale using the technology as a big lever and kind of reimagine the whole technology to kind of make it more universal. I think this will be another very, very important segment of growth. It's not only a big segment of growth, but this can allow for a much more inclusive growth, addressing the long-term challenge of getting the right technology skills and all other aspects of vocational skills in the workforce that is coming into the workforce in the future. Of course, government is again another leg where technology can be the biggest productivity improvement element in pretty much all aspects of public service. While this can make some jobs redundant, but I think it can also create a lot of new avenues for employment opportunities. The fourth is for all the existing businesses to survive, there is a need to reimagine, which means there is a need to do a thorough review of each business system and processes, be it front office, middle office, or back office, to ensure that it can be managed digitally, remotely. For foremost within this is the need to digitalize supply chain and create ecosystems for protection against geopolitical factors that could pose a big risk to the business. As highlighted in this crisis, equally critical is the need to transform customer experience and ensure a digital commerce platform that can quickly switch to online when the need arises is kind of flexibly set up in all your operating models. Parallelly, we also need to put a spotlight on IoTizing our assets, which is really creating smart assets, which will deliver a lot of interesting business models, efficient and scalable business models. The third pillar, apart from the digital foundation and the digital business, is what I call as the digital operations. We need to think deep about digital operations. As tech intensity and the dependency on technology increases, it is becoming even more important to manage the technology operations to deliver a reliable and secure service. You take example of telecom infrastructure, the IT infrastructure, the software applications, the security to protect all the technology assets and digital assets that you have. All of them have to be monitored and managed on an ongoing basis 24/7 to deliver a reliable and a secure service to the consumers. So that's the third element. I think if we can all collectively think of this into three areas: digital foundation, digital business opportunities, and the digital operations, I think it will create a good blueprint on how do we really chart the growth for the future. In conclusion, we are all in this together, and together we have the strength to win. On HCL's part, we continue to play a very responsible role. We've not only ensured our employees are safe and well taken care of, and customers are supported on their digital transformation journey, but equally important, we are there for the local communities where we operate. An example is the support we are providing to the Government of Tamil Nadu in setting up the Disaster Management Data Analytics Center for the pandemic response. We've also helped in expanding the state's disaster management helpline through tech upgradation, manpower assistance, and effective reporting mechanisms. The center housed in Chennai, supported by HCL, helps capture data trends from across all districts of Tamil Nadu in real time and display them live to inform the government's future decisions on degree of response needed for each district, and also for graded relaxation of the current lockdown to resume economic activity. At HCL, we are helping communities and enterprises across the globe to shape their recovery and reimagine their operations, leveraging the transformative nexus of digitalization, Internet of Things, cloud, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence. I'm happy to commit that our expertise and experience is always available to help win this battle together. The way forward may seem tough, and there are varying predictions of a long and arduous recovery. Here is what I believe. All of us have experienced immense pain of this crisis one way or other. The only way out of it is collectively resolved to work on it as an unprecedented opportunity to build strength. What the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls a butterfly. Let's come together and make the world a safer place through technology. And thank you for the opportunity to talk to all of you today.
Thank you, Mr. Vijaykumar, for your very enlightening address on the way forward with digital opportunities, digital foundation, and digital transformation. I think you started off rightly by saying that with the directions of wind changing, we either can build windmills or build walls. And definitely, I think your insightful talk on the opportunities for building a wall at this point in time should not exist. We should actually be making use of these opportunities in building, windmills and creating jobs and creating revenues for companies and nations. So thank you once again for your very insightful and thought-provoking speech. I would now request Mr. Jean Francis Beryl, Executive Chairman, HMD Global, to give his keynote address, please. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman Harry, for your warm welcome. And I'm so pleased and very honored to be here in this very distinguished forum. And in a way, truly delighted to be back to India, even if it is on a virtual media. My name is Jean-François Beryl, often known as Yane Beryl, as reference to my 13 years, or maybe I should say 13 winters spent in Finland when working for Nokia. During my 27 years of corporate work within HP, Compaq, and Nokia in the field of engineering and supply chain, I've been lucky enough to work and travel all around the planet, but I should admit that India has always been very close to my heart. I'm also known to be the brave, or sometimes people say, crazy guy who has decided in 2016 to resurrect Nokia brand for mobile phone. And I'm currently the executive chairman for HMD, the home of Nokia phones. So technology is the answer, but what was the question? In any case, technology as an enabler for getting growth back is a great theme for this India Connect 2020 conference. My motto has been, from the time I was at Nokia, passion and trust. I strongly believe there is no energy without passion, and there is no business without trust. So is there a country where passion is very vibrant? Yes, and I think, to my mind, this is India. Incredible people, huge and young population, super smart, well educated, and of course we can always improve, as it was been said before. Immersive culture, very diverse, but still very respectful for each other, and extremely passionate. Sometimes my people are saying maybe sometimes we are even too passionate. This means a tremendous level of energy, hence tremendous level of potential and opportunities. And this is not only for software, as it is too often and wrongly said, but it is about everything. And this is why I fell in love in India during my first trip in India. In fact, it was in Chennai in 1997. And why, more than ever, I'm still in love with the country. Now, my Nokia experience in India supports well my passion for India, and more specifically Tamil Nadu, or even more specifically the Chennai city. Everything started in 2005 when it came to create a new Nokia factory. Of course, India came top of the list, but India is so big and so diverse. So where to put it? Kolkata, Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore were obviously shortlisted, but very fast Chennai surfaced as the best opportunity for Nokia. The decision was greatly influenced by the advice from Mr. Azim Primji, owner of Wipro, who told me, you know, Yane, if you want to make the best possible phone, go to Southeast. And he was perfectly right. So from that, MOU with Tamil Nadu government was signed in April 2005. Just 5 months later, the factory was built. After 1 month, the first million phone was produced. And in 1 year, 10 million units were shipped out of the plant. And even more important, not only Nokia factory was built, but we created the SEZ campus and invited many of our most important suppliers. The SEZ campus was and definitely remains at the core of what Nokia phones stand for: trust, security, reliability, and dependability. To put everything in perspective and in numbers, at maturity, 30,000 people, 30,000 people were employed. Full capacity of the factory, 150 million phones per year. This was, by the way, the largest in the world. But more importantly, the best manufacturing cost, the best quality, and the best productivity on the worldwide basis was the output of this factory. And this was to serve, of course, the Indian market, but also exporting to Africa and Middle East. Super impressive. We were at this time the first mobile phone factory in India, and at this level, I consider myself as a little bit of pioneer in this industry for India. Latest manufacturing technology was, of course, introduced in Chennai factory, including full GIT process with only 3 days of raw materials inventory. And when I came to India for the first time, people say, you know, be careful, the infrastructure is difficult and so forth. But if you are able to make 3 days of raw materials inventory and immense flexibility on the output of this factory, I can tell you, this country has a tremendous opportunity and tremendous potential. Let me share now with you a very emotional and definitely intense experience supporting my great admiration for India. I remember one of my very first visits to the site after the factory was built. I was given a memorable tour of the factory by a wonderful Indian collaborator on the assembly line. She talked with such passion and pride about her work, the skills of her colleague, and what we are doing at Nokia factories and all the accomplishments, the good things about the factory, that I was totally blown away by the depth of her feeling and the sense of pride. And you know, when I came over there, I was the big boss and she was on the assembly line. And this fantastic lady was not shy to say, I'm going to let you know what we are truly doing here. So much was for me within this experience. And this is very, I can tell you, very moving experience. So I should admit that at some point I was almost having tears in my eyes. Now, when I came back to Helsinki in Finland, I met Olli-Pekka Kalusvo, our CEO at this time. I say, Olli-Pekka, if you get a very difficult customer, a very tough one who doesn't understand Nokia value, bring this customer to Chennai factory and immediately he will sense what we are doing and the dedication of the team who bring the product to life. And this human touch, you cannot imitate, you cannot fake. And this is worth, I believe, millions, even more, of corporate marketing slides. So really the potential and the reality of incredible people are in Chennai, in India, to my mind. Now, if I put a little bit of perspective of HMD, and I give you who is HMD. We are a fast-growing startup company headquartered in Finland, and this is very important. We are European, probably one of the very few, or probably the only European company daring to compete in this red ocean. Since the company began its operation in December 2016, we are active now in roughly 100 countries, 8 regions, and we sold over 250 million phones to date. We are proud to be the exclusive licensee of the Nokia brand for phones and tablets. We are, of course, committed to innovation and quality across the full line, not only the top line of our products, but the full line, which is extending from $15 to the $600 segment. After less than 3 years, this startup reached $1.9 billion revenue last year. We crossed COVID period. I don't think we can say we crossed, but at least the first wave of it, and are now profitable. For a startup, this is not totally bad. I believe we are #1 in value for feature phone. We are #6 mobile brand in the world, if we, of course, exclude China, Japan, Korea, and Brazil, according to IDC. And as you've read in the press, it has been recently announced that we raised $230 million investment from the most iconic strategic partners from this industry. Furthermore, we are expanding beyond hardware as a holistic mobile service provider. And by that, I mean global roaming / HMD Connect that we just introduced. And as a great resonance, we introduce also subscription. We introduce also IoT and end-to-end telco solution. We introduce also connectivity. We are, I believe, known for the best value for money phones, known also for innovation relevant to people. And this is also connecting to our past when, remember, Nokia was known for connecting people. We are also known for quality, security, battery life, And with our pure Android operating system, we secure access to best Google innovation. We sometimes say, as a motto for the company, Nokia phones keep getting better over time. And as a French person, I will connect that to, it's like a good wine. If you buy your phone today, in 2 years, with all the upgrade that will be implemented over the air, you will get even a better phone. So is there a better match or resonance between Nokia brand and India market as expectations? You know, I know that India is vibrant and expecting a lot. So what is our ambition in India? I would say it's two complementary levels of ambition. On the front end or on the sales level, Nokia has been a long-standing relationship with, developed long-standing relationship with India. In fact, if I remember correctly, the first call ever made in India was via a Nokia handsets. And it remains HMD's largest market. Nokia ranked today the second most trusted smartphone brand in India. And this has been the case for second year in a row. And I'm, of course, delighted on behalf of HMD of this situation. On the back end, or I would say the supply chain, we have the vision to grow our local manufacturing and sourcing. Not only manufacturing, we are already manufacturing everything we sell in India, but the sourcing to become a global proposition in partnership with the Indian business community and authorities. And I genuinely insist on the notion of partnership, which was one of the fundamentals of Nokia in the past and continues to be more than ever relevant. We must play this great opportunity together. I mean, central and local governments, business community, and HMD. And furthermore, in this context of the new geopolitical crisis developing, in fact, very fast between the West and the East, my motto is create, source, make, and later on export from India. And this is currently very seriously addressed, I can tell you, at the highest level of the company. It is utmost important that we balance the world and support India to become the next generation of high-tech industrial cluster. This, along with India's vision to become a 5 trillion economy by 2024, goes hand in hand with the export-oriented approach. After all, self-reliant India translates to become a bigger and more important part of the global economy. Now, if I dare to draw some conclusion, I believe HMD expanding from what we created with Nokia in 2006 cannot be more at the core of this Connect 2020 conference. We are also proud to say that all the Nokia phones that we are selling right now in India are made in India. In fact, furthermore, the recent launch of C3, which is made in India, but also made for India, a phone to help consumer to transition from feature phone to smartphones, was in fact one of the most successful up to date. So create, source, make and export from India is really business critical. Indian business policies and incentives are changing very rapidly these days, and this is great. All the speakers before me have discussed about this one, and this is very good. There's production-linked incentives, the scheme for promotion of manufacturing of component and semiconductors in particular specs, the modified electronics manufacturing cluster, EMC, and improvement of ease of doing business, promoting size and scale, as well as adapting to global standards will see exports boosted and drive the country towards its goal. So now it's a time for the government, as I said earlier, central and local and business community to come together to resolve these challenges around supply chain. The new Tamil Nadu electronics and hardware manufacturing policy with objectives to reach $100 billion and to contribute to 25% of India total export by 2025 is just great ambition. And I would like to sincerely applaud to TN government for this superb initiative. The central government reforms are fantastic as well, but for the implementation of those reforms, it will require local approvals and permits from Tamil Nadu. So once again, full, passionate and trusted collaboration between all parties is the key for solid implementation of this beautiful vision and to contribute to a more balanced world. I believe it goes very well on supporting HMD's strategic direction in India, as well as bringing the growth back to India economy and a more robust electronics manufacturing ecosystem, not only to India, but to the rest of the world. I can tell you that I'm so excited to see these possibilities developing and becoming real. You can trust on HMD to become a solid supporter and partner to Tamil Nadu latest policy. And with that, I would like to thank you very much for listening to this address. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your address, more focusing on the hardware part. And we're really happy that your experience so far in India has been fruitful, and that you look forward to more engaging investments in the country and Tamil Nadu. So thank you for your presence today and for your address. I would now request Dr. Omkar Rai, Director General, Software Technology Parks of India, to deliver his special address, please. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. The dignitaries on this digital dais, the Honorable Minister from Tamil Nadu, Thiru R.B. Uday Kumar, the Additional Chief Secretary, IT, Government of Tamil Nadu, Thiru Hans Raj Verma, Mr. Hari Thiagarajan, Mr. Suresh Raman, Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, Mr. C. Vijay Kumar, Mr. Jean Francois Baril, other participants, delegates. It's a matter of honor that I'm part of this inaugural session, which is CII Connect 19th edition. And I'm very glad to see that this edition is going to deliberate on the issues of importance on various topics during this 5 days workshop, seminar, and discourse. It was very enriching to be part of this inaugural session and listen to the policymakers, the industry leaders, and therefore I am very glad to be here. I would say that it's a privilege of STPI to be associated with CII, and I am very glad that this collaboration is going on year-on-year basis, and it is actually providing a great platform to the industry leaders, industry, academia, and the policy makers at large for deliberating on issues of importance and giving insight and direction to the industry for the future growth, for the future direction. I would say that the Tamil Nadu has been a place where a lot of experimentation has been made. And it has been many times the first and a leader in particular initiative. Tamil Nadu is for reasons that the industry, academia, and the government's collaboration is so seamless that Tamil Nadu was one of the leading state, pioneering state, which came up with the concept of large, huge IT parks. It also was the pioneer in terms of attracting automotive electronics sector, automobile sector in the Tamil Nadu. It also was the leader in terms of inviting the electronics manufacturing on its soil. So there has been a very dynamic policy formulation framework in the state of Tamil Nadu. And that is how Tamil Nadu has become an industry hub in terms of financial sector, fintech sector, electronics manufacturing, automotive electronics. I would say that apart from the ever growing growth in terms of software export, it has been a place where various sectors of economy have been growing together. And that is how I would say that the Tamil Nadu is a great place where a lot of things can happen. There could be pilot projects, there could be, there could be industry collaboration, industry initiative in terms of harnessing the talent the Tamil Nadu have, the kind of ecosystem that they have. And I'm very glad that one such initiative has been taken by Software Technology Parks of India's Chennai branch in association with Government of Tamil Nadu and academia and several industries leaders in form of creating a center of excellence in financial technology. This center of excellence in financial technology, which is housed in STPI's Chennai facility, is actually a great work, collaborative work, collaboration between industry, academia, industry leaders, industry partners, and governments at large. And the leadership to this initiative is being given by the industry leader, Sri Arun Jain, who is the chief mentor of this project. We have already taken initiative, we have already gone ahead, and the screening selection process of the startups in the financial technology arena has already been completed. And we have been able to have the support of large number of mentors, investors, angel investors. And therefore, I wanted to share this information on this very great platform. I would completely agree. I was actually watching all the speakers. I actually learned few things from them. I would like to refer to the speech that was made by Sri C. Vijay Kumar. And I am very glad that the industry is actually taking 360-degree view of the entire happening that is happening all across the country around us. And I must say that during pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic lockout, whereas India actually witnessed a lot of hurdles, roadblocks, and a great hit on manufacturing sector and other legacy sectors. But at the same time, during this period, India learned and demonstrated its resilience of nature, its adaptability. And the most important thing that each of us would agree that the digital adoption has been very, very significant in this nation. Whether it is rural India, whether it is urban India, whether it is down south or north India, all across the country in diverse languages, diverse fields, diverse geographical terrain, the digital adoption has seen the heightened activity, owing to the fact that actually we were so ready because of the optical fiber network that was actually already led all across the country with the Reliance Jio kind of platform, National Optical Fiber Network, and telecom revolution that India had witnessed came to rescue to us. And therefore, the entire activity in terms of health, education, entertainment, all these sectors were actually benefited because of this entire lockdown period. We became very, very collaborative, riding on the bandwidth availability that we had. The entire education legacy systems, legacy techniques were actually replaced by the digital transformation, digital technologies. and the entire education delivering process kept on working, and we were able to see that all the educational institution, school, higher learning institution, universities, they kept on imparting education to their pupils and their targeted people through the digital media. Same became true for health sector, and the same thing is true for the digital, I mean, media and entertainment, where Indians have actually shown a lot of interest in digital entertainment and content accessing. These changes actually have created a great platform for future growth in this sector, and therefore the technologies like animation, visual effect, and AR and VR are going to become mainstream in terms of transforming the entire conventional digital delivering technologies, information sharing technologies, as in future we are going to be more interactive, more collaborative, more immersive. And therefore, it has actually presented a great challenge and opportunity that for the startup young boys and girls of this nation who could actually venture into creation of those kind of platform, those kind of services and techniques which can help us in terms of delivering our services, our education, our health services, media, entertainment, all sorts of things, and around which we could actually create enterprises and wealth. Software Technology Parks of India actually has been able to see the things coming, and we have been trying our best to transform ourselves in terms of providing a very transformative incubation service to young boys and girls. We have been very careful and very proactive in terms of creating collaborative infrastructure for affording and creating those incubators which are focused in the domains like AI, AR, VR, IoT, fintech, meditech, edutech, and blockchain. All these technologies that we have picked up, and so far we have been able to launch 12 such center of excellence in collaborative manner with support from the industry leaders, governments, and academia at large. And that is how all these centers of excellence are actually being led, administered by the industry hands, and we are only stitching and putting that collaboration in the place. We are going to launch another 6 centers of excellence in times to come, and we have already planned overall about 25 centers of excellence in collaborative manner to be launched all across the country. Apart from that, the Government of India in February 2019 came up with National Policy on Software Product 2019, and this policy aimed at promoting a software product industry in India. We know that whereas we have done great in terms of IT services export and industry, we have not been able to create our own our own platforms and software technology products, and therefore India and government decided to come up with that policy, and to realize the vision under that policy, several initiatives have been rolled out. One such initiative is Next Generation Incubation Scheme, and this scheme provides all sorts of soft support to the young boys and girls, the upcoming entrepreneurs and startups who are coming from smaller towns and cities of this nation. And therefore, on one hand, we are creating centers of excellence. On other hand, we are trying to make things inclusive by launching Next Generation Incubation Program. The Next Generation Incubation Program, coupled with the centers of excellence that we are creating, is able to cover the entire need of the young boys and girls who want to ideate and create technology product in all emerging technologies, all technologies of the day. With these kind of things, we have been able to create a kind of budget of 400 crore, which will be spent over 5 years' time in launching all these 25 centers of excellence, So far, we have been able to have 12 industry leaders as a chief mentor to lead us in right direction. We have been able to rope in about 200 mentors. We have been able to work with 60 partners. And for meeting the entire requirement of these startups, we have been able to create about 14 labs. What I'm trying to say that STPI is working as an enabler in collaboration with the industry leaders, governments at large, to make sure that anybody in India who wants to ideate and dream can come and join us and could convert their ideas and dreams into product with our help by accessing our infrastructure, by accessing our centers of excellence, and can access the industry leaders as mentors, industry leader as chief mentors. And that is how, in times to come, we are going to be India's largest technology incubator ecosystem in this country. And with these words, I would say that India is fast emerging a nation where the innovation is becoming the central stage, the main activity. We are working together. All the stakeholders are actually joining hands and making efforts to make sure this kind of vision is realized. We know that during pandemic lockdown, we have seen a lot of challenge grant programs. We have seen, the initiative by Ministry of Electronics and IT, Government of India, in terms of launching challenge grants for indigenous solution in video conferencing. Similarly, several ministries and departments are trying to create challenge grants to invite and solicit the participation of young boys and girls to solve today's problem and create technology products. With these few words, I must congratulate CII for creating this 5 days meet and summit, and for affording this opportunity to me to be part of this inaugural ceremony. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Rai, for your valuable presence and your address today. I think the key takeaway for us today was that you mentioned about the centers of excellence, which the STPI Government of India is running. So we will definitely make use and take advantage of the centers of excellence, like the fintech, which you said. I think with the revolution today in the digital banking and faceless assessment of income tax payees, there is definitely a big opportunity lying there. And our own companies like RuPay, I think, have done very well. And so we will definitely make use of these opportunities and also highlight it to some of our members. I would just now request if our Secretary for IT, Mr. Hansraj Verma, if he is available. Yes, sir. If he can give the special address. Over to you, sir.
Head CI Tamil D.
Please unmute, sir. Sorry.
Distinguished delegates on this virtual platform and members of the audience and participants. Let me start my address with a quote from Charles Dickens' novels, Tale of Two Cities. It's the best of the times, the worst of the times. It's the age of darkness, it's the spring of hope, age of wisdom, age of incredibility. Friends, COVID-19 has put us in a situation, but with our ingenuity and collective and collaborative effort, we can look forward to the best of times from this crisis. COVID-19 has changed the paradigms of business, changed the business models, changed our horizons, widen the horizons. Using COVID-19 as an opportunity, this sector, with all its strategic partnerships, all the stakeholders, can look forward for a bright future. I was associated with the Connect first edition, MEITY edition of Connect in 2001. Using the forum, I'd like to acknowledge the role of the pioneers who set the stage, which has ensured that Connect sustains over the years, and today we're in this edition. First and foremost, the contribution of the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Amma Avarhal, the then Chief Secretary, Mr. P. Shankar, the then IT Secretary, Damodar Prakash, Director STPI Raj Lakshmi, Head of CI Arun Jain. They were the pioneers who set the stage for the successful event. Now, friends, our Honorable Chief Minister has given a very clear mandate, as mentioned by the Honorable IT Minister in his speech in the morning, that IT should be deployed for the progress of the state. It's a clear mandate of all us that promote IT, ITES, electronics manufacturing, and leverage this technology for the good of the state. I'll just touch on 2-3 points. India is a young nation. Our average age is 29 years. This youth is aspirational, ambitious. And it is a collective mandate on all of us to create those meaningful jobs which meet the aspirations of this youth. Only then in India we will be able to harness its demographic dividend. And betting on the theme of this Connect 2020, we must leverage technology as an enabler, as a force multiplier for getting growth back and taking it on the fast trajectory. Jobs in the ITS sectors and using technology to create jobs in the associate domain sectors like agriculture, FPOs, rural handicrafts, rural tourism is need of the hour. What is Tamil Nadu's value proposition? What is unique about Tamil Nadu? Tamil Nadu is just not one town, one megapolis or Chennai. It is a series of towns spread uniformly across the length and breadth of the state. Government of Tamil Nadu is going to provide through the BharatNet project best-in-class OFC connectivity, industrial-grade bandwidth up to every village. The 17,600 revenue villages in Tamil Nadu. We must leverage the infrastructure. Tamil Nadu has got some of the best telecom infrastructure. If 5G rollout has to happen in India anywhere, it's going to be in Tamil Nadu. And we're hopeful that by next year, some traction on the 5G rollout will take place. And Tamil Nadu is best positioned to harness the benefits of 5G. We have best-in-class educational institutions spread across the length of the state in partnership with pioneers like Sridhar Vembu of Zoho. We are planning to create jobs in rural areas in tier 2 and tier 3 towns. The next wave of creativity, innovation is going to emerge from those towns. The champions will come from those towns. So let's take those jobs to the rural areas, riding on the intent of the industry pioneers, connectivity, broadband connectivity, and the infrastructure plus talent available in the rural areas. The next strength of Tamil Nadu is MSME sector. Recently, we have announced the electronics policy. MSMEs are the bedrock of employment and manufacturing strength of the state. Collectively, we must ride on the 4.0 bandwagon and enhance the productivity, efficiency, competitiveness of the MSMEs and make India truly Atmanirbhar. Realize the dream of the Honorable Prime Minister of India and Tamil Nadu being a thought leader. The well-established industrial base will show rest of India the way forward. We must harness the potential of the defense corridor in Tamil Nadu. It's got tremendous opportunities both for the manufacturing and for the IT sector, the electronics, the IT systems. So let's harness the power. End of the day, IT is about societal good. IT and ITS is about creating jobs, meaningful jobs, creating well-being for the community and the society. Honorable Chief Minister, former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Dr. Jayalalitha Amma Avaral, had this vision for both. She was the pioneer of the social capital in terms of the self-help groups, the community-based organizations. She was also promoting the intellectual capital in terms of the IT professionals and the IT sector. So using this template of COVID-19 and Connect 2020, we must plan collectively for a synergy between the social capital of the communities, and the intellectual capital of the IT professionals and the IT sector. It will give us tremendous results, tremendous dividends. Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu is held up with the assembly session, but despite his busy schedule, he has given us a date for the validity function. A series of progressive policies will be released for the IT sector on the 19th during the validity function. Already we have released the hardware policy. Tamil Nadu is the natural choice of data center in India. With data localization gaining prominence, Tamil Nadu with its strategic location on the east coast of India, the sea coast, taking advantage of the n number of submarine cables landing in Chennai, is easily positioned to be the data center hub of India. Along with the various academy and research institutions like IIT, Madras, Anna University, we are planning to have innovation and R&D hubs, not only in Chennai, Coimbatore, Trichy, in the Salem-Hosur belt. So friends, these are exciting times for Tamil Nadu. Let's partner with Tamil Nadu. Let's partner with Tamil Nadu to show the rest of India the way forward, and how IT in post-COVID world will use its force multiplying effect, be the employer for creating jobs, sustainable lifestyles, meaningful jobs and benefit to the society. Recently, we had this Source India event where we had mentioned a very interesting slogan for Tamil Nadu on lines of Johnson Nicholson. Whenever you think color, think of Johnson Nicholson was the old ad. Our new take is, whenever you think of electronics manufacturing, think of Tamil Nadu. On the similar lines, for the potential investors and the IT companies, whenever you think of IT, ITS, think of Tamil Nadu. So friends, using this forum, I give an appeal, a clarion call to all the potential investors in this sector. Let us join forces. We seek your partnerships. Tamil Nadu government, under leadership of the Honorable Chief Minister, will be very, very proactive in making your investment plans, your business plans a success. So collectively, let us, using this forum of Connect 2020, make it happen. Make Tamil Nadu show India the rest of the world the way forward for harnessing the power of IT. Before I conclude, I'd like to thank all the speakers before me for validating and endorsing the innate strengths of Tamil Nadu, the potential of Tamil Nadu, the special position of Tamil Nadu with respect to IT in a sector. A big thank to all of you, and I thank all the organizers and wish them that the following days will have very, very fruitful deliberations. The IT department will keep engaging you beyond the event till the next event is there, to ensuring that the deliberations, the key findings, the key points are carried forward and implemented at the field level for the benefit of the society, the state, and the nation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your presence, bit of your busy schedule. So I think you have touched upon some of the very, highlighting aspects of the advantage that Tamil Nadu has in harnessing IT and Industry 4.0. We will definitely work on your advice on, combining the MSME sector and also this Industry 4.0, which is really the need of the hour, and in harnessing some of the technologies like augmented virtual reality, machine learning and data analytics. This BharatNet, which you have mentioned, will definitely be a game changer for the 17,600 revenue villages all over the state of Tamil Nadu, and it will definitely help people, be connected. And the aspects such as telemedicine and online learning will also be, a fruitful outcome of this BharatNet connectivity. Sir, we will definitely take your advice on leveraging technology and using it as a force multiplier to double the exports of IT from the state, and also increasing the employment by using the potential which 5G will throw up very soon to us. Thank you, sir, once again for your words. We will also encourage some of the industries and try to collaborate with industries which have not invested in Tamil Nadu so far to make use of the state and the infrastructure. And Tamil Nadu, as you said, is definitely a natural choice for data centers. So we will definitely work alongside with the government, with departments such as ELCOT also, which have been supporting our initiatives over the period of time. We come to the close of the inaugural session. I would request our Vice Chair, Dr. Chandrakumar.
Hello. Thank you, Mr. Hari. It has been a very insightful session, and the passion and trust of India and Chennai has been very, very clearly communicated by Mr. Jean. And the strength of Tamil Nadu has clearly been communicated by all the leaders outside Tamil Nadu, outside India, and the global leaders. I think that's the hallmark of this today's event. Shri R.B. Uday Kumar, Honorable Minister for Revenue, Disaster Management and Information Technology, Government of Tamil Nadu. Mr. Hansraj Verma, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary, Tamil Nadu Information Technology. Dr. Omkar Rai, Director General, STPI. Mr. C. Vijay Kumar, CEO, HCL Technologies. Mr. Jean Francis Barrel, Executive Chairman, HMD Global. Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, Deputy Chairman, CA Southern Region. Mr. Hari Tyagarajan, Chairman, CA Tamil Nadu. Mr. Suresh Raman, CIA Chairman, CA Connect 2020. Distinguished speakers, delegates to the Connect 2020, members from the industry, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to deliver the concluding remarks on the inaugural session of the 19th edition of the Connect 2020. As everybody mentioned, globally we are going through disruptions because of this pandemic, and a lot of technological changes are taking place in the industry to function in the new normal. The event like Connect has come at an appropriate time for all of us to understand and learn various challenges and opportunities. The current scenario has created, and also how can we leverage the use of ICT to our advantage to address some of the complex issues. I'm sure the sessions we have in the next 4 days are going to be extremely useful to enrich our knowledge and also to use some of the ideas in our workplace. I request all delegates to participate in various sessions scheduled between today and till 19th September. Chief guest of this morning, Shri R.B. Uday Kumar, Honorable Minister of Revenue and Disaster Management Information Technology, Government of Tamil Nadu, took part in spite of the assembly session going on. Sir, we are honored by your august presence in the morning and also your encouraging ideas. We appreciate and thank you for the development-centric initiatives of the government in areas of information technology under your leadership. We and CII are committed to work with the government to take the ICT growth agenda of the government across the state. We're extremely grateful to Mr. Jean Francis Barrel, Executive Chairman, HMD Global, for making his time available to join us in this morning and share his perspective on the current and future of ICT growth globally, and also talking about the HMD's vision and emergence of new technologies. Dr. Omkar Rai, Director General, STPI, we convey our sincere gratitude for joining us this morning and sharing your thoughts, sir. At this juncture, I would like to acknowledge the continuous encouragement and support of STPI for the Connect across the state. We are extremely thankful to the Secretary, Mr. Hansraj Verma, IAS, for his leadership and guidance in organizing the 19th edition of the Connect virtually. So thank you, sir, for reiterating your support and extending the hand of partnership to CII to join in the ICT growth and development agenda of Tamil Nadu. Sir, we are very grateful to ELCOT for continuously supporting us over these years for the Connect of series of events, not only in Chennai, but also in places like Coimbatore, Madurai, Salem, and Trichy. I also extend our thanks to Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, Deputy Chairman, CIA Southern Region, for his presence and address. Mr. Suresh Raman, Chairman of CIA Connect 2020, and Mr. Josh, Co-Chairman, CIA Connect 2020, and the entire steering committee for putting together such an excellent program with more than 100+ speakers. I must acknowledge and thank all the sponsors and partners of the Connect 2020. I thank members of media, both print and electronic, for joining us this morning. Once again, I thank each and every one of you for making this day a memorable one. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you all eminent speakers and the participants for joining the inaugural session. With this, we come to the close of the inaugural session. The next session for the day will start at 4:30 today. So I would request all the participants to join by half an hour ahead by 4 o'clock in the Hive platform for joining the session proceedings. I would also urge all the participants to go and visit the virtual stalls available in the Hive platform and also network among all your colleagues from the industry. With this, we close this session. Thank you very much.
Humans are inquisitive creatures. At birth, this need to learn and create takes on a life of its own and manifests within each of us in different ways. It's in our code, our DNA. It naturally inspires us to give life a forward push. Our curiosity drives us to be creative. Sometimes we are inspired to protect ourselves. Sometimes to find solutions to our day-to-day problems. And sometimes we are inventive to make our lives easier, to do more in less time. Sometimes we simply relish the pure joy of venturing into the unknown and creating something new. But no matter what the unknown, we are spurred to add value through our ingenuity, to move forward in life. We are compelled to imagine, to revolutionize, and to achieve the never before done. We prepare for that uncertainty tomorrow by building solutions today. When you trust in yourself, you will recognize the difference that you can make. You need to explore and test yourself. Experience the joy that a new challenge can bring. We all have this basic need to innovate, to constantly reinvent and add value. Change emerges from a simple, minuscule seed. This seed of innovation is an idea. When you trust in yourself, your idea can change the world. Every idea is a seed. It holds the power to become anything and take you anywhere. All you need is to nurture it. At HCL, we are home to more than 150,000 ideapreneurs with limitless ideas. The constant need to imagine, revolutionize, and achieve has led to HCL's unique ideapreneurship culture. A culture where we trust your ideas and give life to them. A culture where we institutionalize innovation, protect your inventions, and believe that power begins at the roots. Because we know that ideas are everything.
அவங்க ஐடி ப்ராப்பர்